There's been a debate raging regarding whether or not there should be stricter means testing to essentially severely limit the number of Americans who would qualify or be eligible for economic relief under the upcoming coronavirus relief package. Now, unfortunately, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen seems to be interested in implementing more means testing, although the proposals from Republicans is something that she was willing to criticize. So I think it's about time we take a good hard look at what's going on with Biden's scabinet. Now, under what conservatives are fighting for, the means testing would ensure that people making anything above $50,000 a year would lose some of their eligibility toward receiving relief under the coronavirus relief package. Now, Janet Yellen, Treasury Secretary, thinks that that threshold is just far too low. And she takes absolutely no time to question or critique how the means testing relies on faulty data from 2019 tax filings. She instead decides, well, maybe I can meet these people halfway. Watch.
What do you think the cutoff should be? 50,000, 75,000? Where do you come down?
Well, President Biden is certainly willing to work with members of Congress to define what's fair, and he wouldn't want to see a household making over $300,000 receive these payments. But if you think about an elementary school teacher or policeman making $60,000 a year, so the exact details of how it should be targeted are to be determined, but struggling middle-class families need help too.
So you definitely think higher than 50,000 per individual, but you're not necessarily willing to commit to 75,000 is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think the details can be worked out.
There's a possibility of the White House, obviously with Yellen included in this argument, that they wouldn't go for $50,000 as the cutoff, but they would maybe go for $60,000 as the cutoff when it comes to COVID-19 relief eligibility. And that conversation that just took place, the video that you just watched, was stupid. That was political suicide. The Biden administration considering caving to conservatives, whether it be conservative Republicans or conservative Democrats or people like Larry Summers, embarrassing. Okay, under the means testing that's being proposed right now, 40 million Americans who qualified for coronavirus relief under the Trump administration would no longer qualify under what Biden could be proposing with this lower eligibility threshold. Political suicide. What are you doing? Why are you guys being so stupid? They're being stupid. That's what's happening right now. No. If you're worried about people bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, taking advantage of government aid, then make them pay it back when they file their taxes, and let's stop engaging in these stupid negotiations. It's so senseless.
Yeah, Anna, look, we get stuck all the time here on TYT between calling them stupid and corrupt, but in this case, it's almost certainly corruption. Janet Yellen is perfectly smart, so is Biden and those guys, generally speaking. And they've got a lot of smart people in the room. They're doing it on purpose, which is, by the way, worse. So let me clarify a couple of things. Janet Yellen is not gonna go on TV and wing it. This is not the Trump administration. These are very thoughtful people, meaning they've thought it through. And she's not gonna go out there without confirming with Biden that 60,000 is okay. She's also not gonna go out there and say 60,000 unless they're pretty sure they're gonna get 60,000. So they might even already have an agreement with Manchin and Sinema to get to 60,000. So are they gonna go $1 above 60,000? No, it's now over. That is the official Biden position stated on national television. You're not gonna get, if you're making over $60,000, you're not getting any relief. So the stupidity that Anna talked about is now pretty much written in stone. The policy is not bright. The political effect is not bright. But the reason they're doing it is because the Chamber of Commerce is putting tremendous pressure on them. So
yes.
They represent big business, and it's not just that they're negotiating with Manchin and Sinema, they're literally negotiating with their own donors. So if Manchin and Sinema actually had ideological differences, they'd steamroll them. Nobody cares about ideology or principles in Washington. But no, they're backed up by literally billions of dollars in lobbying money and campaign contributions. That's why you just heard Yellen tell you it's over. You're not gonna go over $60,000. Yes, some people who got relief under Trump. Now, mind you, he didn't pass this, so it's not like you give Trump credit, right? But in the earlier version, some people who got relief under Trump will not get it under Biden, and every one of them will then think the Democrats screwed me. So
well, that's why I'm saying that they're being stupid, right? Like I know that they, in their minds, are thinking rationally because they want to appease their donors, and maybe they're right because I used to be under the impression that they cared about their donors because they wanted to remain in power, and those campaign donations were pretty fundamental in our broken system to be able to pay for your campaign and to get reelected and to remain in power. But no, I mean, when you consider that Janet Yellen over the last 2 years collected $7.2 million giving Wall Street speeches, then it doesn't matter if you're in power with the government or not. You're gonna rake in all that money later on anyway, or you brought in a lot of that money before coming back into power as Treasury Secretary. So you're right in that corruption plays a role, but if they care about remaining in power, if they really want to fend off Trump, a Trump type politician, Trump 2.0 in the future, then this is a really dumb way to go about it, especially when you consider, again, 40 million Americans who qualified for government relief, for economic relief under Trump, who would not qualify for that relief under Biden. And I would venture to say that these people would be pretty upset if they were left behind by stricter means testing that was forced down everyone's throats by the US Chamber of Commerce, which by the way spent $82 billion lobbying Congress and the White House last year alone, $82 billion. And then of course you have think tanks like Opportunity Insights that's bankrolled by Mark Zuckerberg, Bloomberg, Bill Gates, all these incredibly fabulously wealthy people, who it's a think tank that put out some BS study indicating that providing this relief without the means testing, the stricter means testing, doesn't make sense because it doesn't stimulate the economy enough. How about maybe this isn't about stimulating the economy? How about this is about keeping people alive? This is about survival at this point. And we're not even talking about $2,000 direct checks to Americans every single month until the pandemic is over. We're literally having a debate right now about how many Americans should qualify for a one-time $1,400 check. That's what we're having a debate about right now. It's absolutely pathetic. It's embarrassing, especially when you can compare us to every other developed country that's actually offered far more relief than the United States has. And when you think about it politically and strategically, this is incredibly stupid.
Yeah, look, I would say dead horse, but I'm gonna keep pounding that dead horse probably for at least another 4 years. Is anybody in media telling you that they're negotiating with their donors? Is anybody telling you about how much the Chamber of Commerce is spending? Or are they all pretending like some sort of kabuki theater that Joe Biden and Janet Yellen and Joe Manchin have principles? And in their principles, they think that the average American should get less benefits and corporations should get almost all the benefits. Nobody's telling you the reality. And by the way, that's partly what drove the right wing crazy and had them go down conspiracy theory rabbit holes, because it was so obvious that the media was lying to them. So one last thing, stimulating the economy. So Anna mentioned that some corporate Democrats are saying it's not going to stimulate the economy enough. Well, what does that mean? By definition, it stimulates the pocketbooks of the people who got it, right? And do they spend into the economy? Yes, because they have to, because they don't have any money left. So all that is true. So what are they actually talking about? Oh, they're saying it won't actually help business interests. Stimulate the economy to them is not even a code word. They just mean it, like, because they think the only thing that matters is big business. They've internalized that groupthink. So they think, well, I don't understand how this would help big business. So hence it won't stimulate the economy. Hence we're against it. Yeah, okay. Well, why don't you just say it like you actually mean it? My corporate overlords are not happy about this, and they've told me that less of you should get money, and so that's why I'm doing this. And if there were any honest reporters in the country, and there are some, Sirota, Grimm, and others, you would know, yes, that's the actual game that's being played upon all of you, Democrats, Republicans, and independents.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. We really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.